Ashley, this is about Liam, the guy you brought over the other day. Do you really plan on marrying a man like him out of everyone else? What? Well, he and I have already talked about wanting to get married, and I explained the same thing to you all. Remember how when I said I was bringing him over to the house, I said that this would be because he and I plan on marrying? I know that. I wasn't questioning that. But you haven't heard anything from him yet about how he's not interested in you, or you in him, leading to you guys no longer being engaged? Huh? Well, he might not want to really get married to you is all now. Would you please not talk about things like that when he and I are getting closer to our wedding? I was so happy to finally find a man that understands me the way I want to be understood. And you're going to talk about our relationship like that? And by the way, he would never just leave me for another woman like that at this time. I know. When both your dad and I met with him, we could tell he wasn't that kind of man. I'm not trying to talk badly about him or your guys' relationship, especially when he seems like a really decent man. Well, that better be the case. Then tell me, why are you asking questions like that, making it seem as though we would ever be calling off the engagement? Well, about all that, Ashley, I would like you to give Liam to Raina. Huh? Don't say huh to me like you can't hear or something. I really feel as though Raina and Liam would be a far better couple. That's why I'm wanting you to end your engagement with him right now, and then let Raina have him instead. Wait. We had a family meeting, and in that meeting we decided that Liam would be getting married to Raina, so you have no other option now. So starting today, Liam is Raina's fiancé. What the heck are you saying? I think your cute little sister is a far better match for someone like Liam, and I want them to get married. You are her older sister, and you want what's best for her, right? So you give Liam to her right now. Do you think Liam's going to be okay with something as ridiculous as this? Oh, well, I've never heard of there being a man on this planet who doesn't want to marry Raina. I mean, she's said to be the #1 most beautiful woman in this part of the state, right? In other words, this means he has no reason to stay with you over her. I have no idea what's gotten into you, Mom. No matter what you try and do, this marriage between Liam and Raina is going to happen. It's already been decided on. I'm going to talk with Liam right now about how I want him to leave you, so please do not get in the way of your little sister's love. And from now on, you are no longer to meet with Liam. Understand? Liam, has anyone from my family begun talking to you about anything yet? Anything that would really make you feel awkward about them?
Ah, Ashley, I was just about to text you asking about it.
So this means... so my mom has started to talk to you then?
Yeah, I was just getting a boatload of texts from your mom, and they're all so, well, let's just say I never knew someone out of your family could act that way. She wants me to start going out with your little sister. I didn't know how to respond back to her text after she said all that to me, so I was planning on asking you about it first.
She just started with that?
I'm not blaming any of this on your Ashley, but this was all a little... I just don't know what to think about your parents now. Especially your mom.
I see. I guess she did end up getting your phone number back when you came over to their house the other day. I'm sorry, Liam. I was hoping I could warn you in some way before she got to you. Her and I were just texting one another about it, and she told me she was going to tell you about it. I'm so sorry.
Don't apologize for that.
Huh?
I told you that you're not to blame for this. And the only reason I was comfortable with giving your mom my number at the time is in case we ever needed to talk to one another about our marriage or the wedding. Had I known this would come from her, I would never have gave her my real number.
Just in case you need to talk to her?
Actually, When I came over to your house that day, your mom said to me that you had a cute little sister, and that I should be marrying her instead of you. And then she told me that she'd get you to leave me so I could have my chance with her. And well, at the time, I thought she was just joking and wanted my number for when we got closer to the wedding and all that. But today, I realised that I was totally wrong about her, and she wasn't kidding. She actually thinks that I'd be willing to just leave you and go to your little sister instead. I've never even met your little sister in person, let alone talked to her. What if she's not even close to the type of woman I want to be with?
I see.
This is all just... Well, I never thought this could get so far out of hand. She didn't seem serious at the time, but now I realise that she has me in her trap. I guess I never had a fiancé before, and I've never gone to meet my fiancé's parents before talking about marriage, so I assumed something like that was a joke to lighten the mood. I would have never imagined she was being serious about it. What a way to change my views on life, when you and I are this close to being husband and wife.
I'm sorry.
You do not have to apologise to me, alright? I feel like I could just tell your mom no to all that right now, but for some reason I'm getting this feeling that a simple no won't be enough to stop her.
Yeah, you are totally right about that. When my little sister asks for something, or it's something my mom wants for her, there is nothing that'll stop them from getting it.
Seriously?
For the time being, you should just go find somewhere to hide.
Find somewhere to hide?
I'm sure that they'll be able to look up the address you live at, so you might want to find a place to lay low for a bit. They already know my address as well, so you might need to go find a friend or something to ask.
Then let me go ask one of my cousins if they'll let me stay at their place for a week or two.
Are you planning to ask your cousin from the next town over, who's in college now?
That's the one. I work freelance after all, so there's no need for me to worry about commuting to work or anything. And I'm sure I can give a good reason as to why I want to go stay with them for a while. And I don't think your mom or sister will ever be able to find me there.
That's true.
Alright, I'm going to ask right away. Right. I'm almost done with my lease at my current apartment, so we could probably start moving my things out of it to prepare for the move.
That'll require a lot more work, though.
Don't worry about it. When I've got things handled, I'll get back in touch with you.
All right. Be careful, okay? Ashley, I can see that you actually went through with the plan and broke up with Liam. I'm very happy that you listened to me. You have finally become the kind and thoughtful older sister Raina deserves to have. What? What are you talking about? I have not broken up with Liam yet. Huh? No way. You're still going on about how you want him to be your husband? Oh my God. There is something seriously wrong with you, isn't there? What are you doing? I'm not going to let you get away with stealing your little sister's happiness from her. Wait, what are you talking about, Mom? Like, really? They haven't even met one another in person yet, so how would she know if she really likes him or not? Remember? That time when I brought Liam over to see you and Dad, Raina was out of the house and she never came home to see him. I know, and their time to meet one another will come soon, but I know that when they meet, there will be no problems and things will continue on smoothly. What? Continue smoothly? Or are they actually going to meet? Back when Liam came over to our house with you, and after that, while he was walking home, your dad tailed him to find out where he's living. Huh? So I've had Raina go over there today, and she's going to meet with him right now. Are you joking? You had Dad stalk him like that? Well, you were never telling us where his address was then. We have to know what part of town he's in, considering he's going to be dating our little girl soon. What the heck? You guys are all messed up. Jeez, I'm glad I went ahead and messaged you today on a whim. Well, no matter what you have to say about it now, you're too late. I sent Raina over to his place, and I'm having her live with him now. She's living with him? I didn't want you thinking this was going on just yet, so I lied about her not meeting with him, but in reality, she's been over there for 3 days now. I can't believe things went so well for her that she's already being allowed to stay in his home. Is that right? That's right. All right, then. I get it now. So you guys are no longer going to need $2,000 a month from me, right? Huh? $2,000? What's that all about? Oh, You didn't forget about that, did you? 7 years ago, the company that Dad had been working for went bankrupt, and it took him a while to find himself another job thereafter. But that new job happened to pay him a lot less than what he was making before, so you guys asked me to start sending you both $2,000 a month. What? You've still been doing that for us? Well, you guys never told me to stop that, so I've just kept on sending you guys the money. All right? To be honest, I thought that $2,000 was a lot to be giving you guys each month, but back then you had Raina going to college, and she also had a lot of costs that needed to be paid for as well, right? And since I'm making a decent amount of money myself, I thought it'd be fine to send that kind of money to you all, as it was for the family. But now that you are having your younger daughter leave the house and she'll be cared for by her soon-to-be husband, that must mean that you and Dad don't need my money anymore. Dad should be making pretty decent money by this point, so I see no need to send you the $2,000 each month anymore. So in other words, there is no point in me sending you a monthly allowance. Right? Wait a second. Wait, we can go get Raina back right now. Huh? And you no longer have to leave Liam for us. So actually, can you please keep sending us that $2,000 every month? What? I'm going to talk with Raina right now, so please keep that money coming to us. Liam, you going to your cousin's place and moving out of your apartment was a perfect move.
Huh? Did something happen then?
Apparently my dad followed you home after you came over to visit my parents that one time, and he found out where you were living.
Like he stalked me?
And, well, later on they had Raina go to that apartment to go and see you.
What the... That's terrifying.
And, well, my mom told me that Raina and you have started living with one another.
Huh? I'm not living with her at all, though.
Yeah, I know that. But if my mom thinks she's out living with you, then where is Raina gone? And what?
What's wrong? Do you have an idea?
I just got a notification saying that Raina tried calling me. It's rare for her to ever call me like that. And whenever I try talking to her, she never answers.
I'm sure it has to do with what's been going on here, so try calling her back.
I'll do that, I guess. Here we go. Ashley, we have no idea what happened to Raina or where she went. Do you have any idea? What? And also, Liam wasn't over at that apartment either. I thought that she was living in that place with Liam this whole time. Did they both run away from me? Well, you're half correct. What? But she's not with Liam right now. What? What do you mean by that? I heard about it from Raina herself. You knew that Raina had a boyfriend this whole time, right? Her boyfriend happens to work as a contractor, so you assumed that he wasn't making all too much money. So you tried to get in the way of those two and find a way to get them to break up so that you could have her go out with Liam. Well, that's... because if she had to marry some dirty contractor who's barely making any money, I'd feel so bad for her. And that's why you wanted her going out with my fiancé? I'm not going to let her go out with some nasty-looking hick from who knows where when Liam is a far better man. Well, listen to this, Mom. I happen to know where he's working as a contractor. The place happens to be known throughout the state as one of the best places to work with very good pay and benefits. What? And the CEO happens to be liked by pretty much all his workers. Of course, doing the work all of the workers have to do is hard on their bodies, but he makes sure everyone has good health insurance and that they get enough PTO each year to take time to relax themselves. I think that he's actually working for a really, really good company right now. But in your case, you never bothered to look up the company he's at and just chose to think he was poor. I never thought there'd be a company like that, though, for contractors. Had you just listened to Raina, you might have understood things better. But it's too late for that now. Too late? About Raina. When you told her to go to Liam's place and stay with him, she took that opportunity and ran back to her boyfriend's house and has been staying there. She ran to his place? They happen to be getting married now, too. Why do you know all of this stuff? Well, because yesterday I got a call from her and we spent all night talking with one another about what's been going on. I'm sure that you and Dad tried your best to get her to have the life you wanted her to have, and I was jealous at times about how much you cared about her, but not me. However, now I feel as though neither Raina or I was ever really cared for by you or Dad. And, well, last night I was finally able to hear about Raina's feelings as well. Ashley, about that $2,000, will you... Wait, are you serious? Now, of all times? Well, look, your dad's income hasn't really gone up at all since he was first hired, and, the cost of living here. It's just the two of you now, so you should be more than capable of living there with Dad's income. But, wait, you're not working at all, right? Me? Why are you surprised? This is your time to be a good wife and find yourself a job, right? As for Raina and I, we have both found ourselves amazing men to make our husbands. That means we are no longer going to be letting you into our lives, causing us all kinds of trouble. All right? A few days after that, my mom and Dad got a divorce. My dad wasn't making a whole lot of money with his current job, and my mom didn't like that about him. But when he brought up the idea that she could get a job as well, she flipped out. Anyway, the way I found out that those two would be getting a divorce was right after I told them about how Raina and I would both be getting married. My mom apologized to me then and said she'd be leaving my dad for good. You might think that after this, my whole family fell apart, but right after my mom told us about the divorce, my dad, sister, and I started a group chat where we keep one another up to date on our lives. Now that Raina's married, she's asked us to come to her wedding in the next couple of months, and even said that Liam was invited too, so that means she can see him for the first time. But I had to make sure she knew not to have that wedding around my wedding because Liam and I are set to be wed in the next month. And just today we went to the courthouse and handed in our marriage forms. When it comes to my dad, he no longer has to support another adult on his income. And as a single man, he's actually making enough to support himself comfortably. He told us he plans on selling the house soon and using that money to move into a smaller house where he won't have to clean as much of it. As for my mom herself, she didn't have any parents to go back to, and all of her brothers and sisters lived too far away and weren't that close to her to begin with. Out of all the stages in her life, she's learning how hard it is to live on your own in her late 60s. She has a job of her own now, but it's only enough to afford her a one-bedroom apartment and a little bit of food each week. And since she's now living life like the poor, she spends all day and night in her room, crying and crying and crying. Nate, I'm sorry, but I can't do this anymore.
Huh? What's wrong?
I'm breaking up with you.
What? Oh, hold on. What is this all of a sudden?
I just can't handle being with you anymore.
Hillary, please calm down and tell me what's going on. Why can't you handle being with me anymore?
Seriously, Nate, come on. Are you actually going to pretend like you don't know?
I don't have to pretend because I legitimately have no idea what brought this on all of a sudden. If it was something I did or said, then I'm sorry and want to do better, so please, let's talk about this, okay? What happened to make you feel this way?
Oh my god, there's no point in me even telling you. It's not like it's something you can actually do better about.
You're still not making any sense. What is it? What's wrong?
It's your family, Nate.
My family?
If your family is really okay with living in that complete dumpster fire of a house, then that gives me serious doubts about trying to build a future together with you.
What? What do you mean dumpster fire? We do have one house that's about 50 years old, but we've been taking pretty good care of it. It's not like we've completely abandoned it. We do regular inspections, monthly cleanings, lawn mowing, and all that sort of thing. So I don't really think it's fair to call it a dumpster fire.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. You don't even have the self-awareness to see that your house is disgusting. How can you bear to live like that? I can't build a future with someone from a family like yours, so I'm breaking up with you.
Hillary, I think you're under a big misunderstanding. Look, this is not a conversation that we can have by text. Let's meet up and talk, okay?
Not a chance. I am never talking to you again for as long as I live. If we should ever meet on campus or in town, I'm just going to ignore you and pretend that I don't know you, so you do the same. Got it? Goodbye. Hey, Nate. Long time no see. How are things? It's me, Hillary, remember? I just saw you on TV and oh my God, I couldn't believe my eyes. You're the biggest rags to riches story I've ever seen. You grew up in that rundown old house and now you're filthy rich living in a huge mansion. They should make a movie about you. Anyway, let's meet and catch up. I'm in the mood for French, I think. I've never tried caviar. Do you know any good places? Oh, and then maybe we could go shopping for a new handbag for me?
And that, got a minute? Wow, great timing, Sean. I was just about to send you a message. Let me take a stab in the dark. It's about Hillary? Yeah, she randomly texted me out the blue this afternoon and started blowing up my phone with texts and calls. None of which I answered, obviously. But it seems like she wants to get back together with me. Do you know anything about this, Sean? Oh yeah, that psycho chick has been going through every single one of our old college friends trying to find out as much information about you as she can. What the? Why now? What do you think? That oblivious moron somehow got the idea in her head that you were dirt poor. And now that she knows you're rich, she wants to get back together. You've got to be kidding me. It's been 7 years. Yeah, well, with Hillary, the only thing that matters in a guy is how many zeros are in his bank account balance. Apparently she's looking to settle down with a rich guy to take care of her, so she's been frequenting all the upper-class hangouts where the young entrepreneurs go. And I guess she figures that since the two of you have an established history together, maybe she has a chance to get back together with you. Not a chance in hell. Yeah, that's what I thought you'd say. Oh, but anyways, everyone knows what the circumstance of your breakup were, as well as the fact that nothing good can come out of getting involved with Hillary and all her schemes, so they just all left her on red. Well, that's a relief. For now, I think I'll just keep on ignoring her like I have been. That's probably for the best. So, yeah, I'll just ignore the messages and calls for a while, monitor the situation. If you hear any new information, let me know as soon as possible, okay? You got it, bro.
Hey, Nate. So I was thinking about our date. I don't think we really decided on when we would meet up yet, right? I just remembered what you were saying during your TV interview. You took over your dad's company and started instituting a bunch of quality of life improvements for your employees, right? Like adding remote work options, more flexible hours, that sort of thing. So it sounds like you're probably at home a lot of the time. That means we'll have tons of time to see each other. Awesome. So, tomorrow, I went ahead and made a reservation at that fancy new French restaurant downtown in your name for 12 noon tomorrow. I'll see you at the restaurant. Hey, Nate, have you left your house yet? This is kind of our first date in 7 years, and you're running late? Like, really, Nate? I'm gonna head into the restaurant. Text me when you get here, got it? What is your problem, Nate? Where are you? Standing me up on our first date in 7 years? What kind of man are you? I expected you were going to pay the bill for dinner, so I didn't bring my wallet. What am I supposed to do now? Hurry up and get down here to pay the check. If you're going to be my husband, you're going to have to prove to me that I can rely on you, understand? Hey, wait a minute. Are you ignoring my messages? They aren't getting marked as read.
Hey, Sean, this is getting out of hand fast. Yeah, I heard. Did she seriously book a reservation in your name, expecting you to pay for her lunch? She's been blowing up my phone for 3 days. Yesterday, she made up plans for a date with me at some fancy French restaurant. And then, just like you said, actually made a reservation in my name in a place that cost at least $100 a plate. And then she went to the place, declared that I would be paying for the meal, and get this, then she starts telling me that we're getting married. Eesh, what a nut job. You're telling me. Did you hear anything else about that? Yeah. A friend of mine actually works at the restaurant she went to, and according to him, when the manager told her to pay her bill or he'd call the police, she started crying her eyes out, and then just called her parents and they paid the bill. Good God, what is wrong with her? She was name-dropping you big time, saying that you'd be very unhappy with the way she had been treated. I think it's safe to say she'll try using the same tactic again, so be on the lookout. You might want to put the word out, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I'll be making some moves on that front soon. Thanks for letting me know.
Hey, Nate. So my parents kicked me out of their house last night, and since I have no place to go, I'll go ahead and move into your huge mansion so we can be together all the time. I'm getting on a bus right now. I'll see you soon. Oh, that's right. The city courthouse is on the way, so I'll go ahead and submit our marriage certificate since I'll be in the area anyway.
Whoa, hold on.
Nate? Nate, is that you? You finally answered me.
Yeah, because I had to stop you before you go doing something really stupid.
What do you mean? Anyway, like I said, I'll be over there soon, sweetie. I can't wait to start our new life together. I'm the luckiest girl in the world to have a husband like you.
I've been married for 3 years, Hillary.
What?
But you would have found out anyway if you actually went to the courthouse, but I figured I'd save you a pointless trip.
You're not fooling me. I've been asking tons of people about you, and no one said anything about you having a wife.
Yeah, no one said anything to you, period, because they were all in agreement that they wouldn't tell you anything about me.
What do you mean?
Don't you remember? After you dumped me, you went around to everyone telling them that I'm a poor loser living in a broken-down old house. Don't tell me you didn't notice how they reacted to that.
You're making zero sense. When I broke up with you, you were a poor loser living in a broken-down old house. I was just telling the truth. What's wrong with that? You didn't even have the self-awareness to realize your house was so trashy. You were completely low class. Were you trying to forget your childhood trauma by pretending you actually lived in the big fancy house next door?
Wait a minute. A dumpy house next door to a nicer house.
Yeah. Seriously, how could you be satisfied with such a low standard of living while looking out of your window at what a real house looks like? At least you seem to have come to your senses now.
Let me confirm something. Is this house you're talking about on Millwood Drive? Blue siding, 2-story, big walnut tree in the side yard?
Yeah, pretty sure that's the one. I don't know what a walnut tree looks like, but it definitely was 2 stories and had blue siding. Now that you mention it, they put a picture of it up during your interview on TV the other day. Yeah, that's definitely the one. And you got so rich that you were able to buy that big mansion next door, right? I guess me breaking up with you gave you the drive you needed to finally make something of yourself. You're welcome. And now you're finally getting the biggest reward of all, me as your wife.
I didn't buy that house.
What?
It was already mine. I grew up in that house from the moment I was born.
Huh?
When I took over my dad's company 2 years ago, he put that house and all the rest of our property in my name too. That house next door, the one that you said was old, run down, a dumpster fire, and that sort of thing. That was the house my dad's pets lived in.
His pets?
Yeah, he's always had a thing for reptiles. He has a ton of them. Chameleons, geckos, lizards, you name it. My mom, however, can't stand the sight of them. So he brought the roughly 50-year-old abandoned house next door and transformed it into a sort of private zoo where he keeps all his reptiles. Might look a bit old from the outside, but he renovated the entire interior when he bought it, so it's pretty nice in there now. He also changed it so the main entrance is on the back side of the house, so it's easier to get there from our property.
Oh, wait. So that's why I saw you going in that house all the time?
Yeah. Back when we were dating, my dad got a bit of a nasty flu that put him in the hospital for a while. And I was the one who took care of his pets while he was away. I'd stop in there first after my classes were finished, feed the pets, clean what needed to be cleaned, and then go home. That's why I would always go in there.
Oh, okay.
It's strange that you knew about me going in there, though, since I never invited you over to our house. Don't tell me you were following me.
Well, I mean, I was your girlfriend, and you never invited me over to see your house? That's weird, isn't it? I figured maybe you were hiding something from me. Then, well, I saw you going into that old house, and, you know...
Hillary, we were only dating for 2 months. We had this conversation at the time, too. I told you that I wanted to get to know you better before I took you to meet my parents. I didn't want to feel like I was being rushed into our relationship.
Well, thanks for telling me about how you felt. Wow, it feels really good to have such a deep conversation with you. And now that we've finally reconnected, I am more hopeful than ever about our future together.
What relationship?
Our marriage, silly! I'm at the courthouse right now. I'm gonna go submit our marriage certificate.
Were you listening at all? I told you I'm married.
What?
Did you seriously ignore the single most important part of this conversation?
I guess it must have slipped past me.
That's no excuse. You said you watched my TV interview, right? Did you also happen to miss the portion of that interview where they interviewed my wife?
That's who that was? I thought she was your maid.
You must have had cotton balls in your ears too, because the segment where we talked about how we met and our honeymoon was a full 5 minutes.
So, it's true? You're really married?
So like I was saying, don't waste your time. Even if you try to submit it, they won't accept it. Got it?
But...
And this is where I exit this conversation.
Hey!
I made the mistake of not blocking you when we broke up 7 years ago, but I'll be remedying that in short order.
Nate, stop, please. Didn't you hear me? My parents kicked me out of their house. I don't have anywhere else to go. You have to help me.
No, I don't have to help you. You're an adult. Figure it out for yourself.
Nate, please, let me live with you. How can you do this to me?
I was concerned for a while that Hillary might try to storm into my house, regardless of my warnings. But her parents had realized that she was about to do something stupid again, and they caught up with her and dragged her back home. Apparently, they had set a condition for paying the very expensive bill at the restaurant the other day, that she would get married to a friend of her father's who happens to be in his 50s. She tried to back out of it after they had already paid the bill. But they told her that if she didn't go through with her end of the bargain, they'd disown her and kick her out to the curb. It was at that point that she came up with her master plan of getting married to me. Too bad for her, I was already married. That day, Hillary actually did turn in a marriage certificate to the courthouse, and it was accepted. Why is that, you may ask? Well, Hillary had forged my name onto a marriage certificate, thinking that once it was accepted, there wouldn't be anything I could do. However, her parents caught on to the plan. While she was out, they took the marriage certificate she had signed and forged my signature on, then swapped it out for one with her name and the man they wanted her to marry. What a big-time backfire.